Well, my friend Robert from back in Maine has sent me something else. I don't know what I've done to deserve so many gifts. I did send him some free RPG supplements, but I feel like I'm coming out on the better end of these things. So I'm going to take a look and see what I've got today. While I'm doing this, I'll do the usual and request that you check out the stuff below. The usual YouTube kind of stuff. I'm an independent writer. Could always use some sales on my books. You could check out my Patreon. I'm making some headway on a new serial, which I'm enjoying. It's a murder mystery conspiracy of sorts set in my Conquest of the Sphere setting, and so it's something new that I haven't really tried before. And holy crap! It's the Dune role-playing game. Well, that's nuts. Well, thank you, Robert. I appreciate that. Okay. I have been very interested in checking this game out, and I did not buy it. I was going to buy it, I think, for Free RPG Day. But actually, yeah, I think it was Free RPG Day that I was going to buy it, and ended up at a shop that I really did not care for. And I think they were doing Free RPG Day very incorrectly, insincerely. I don't know how I want to phrase that. And, excuse me, I ended up not buying anything at all from that shop, and I didn't take anything for the Free RPG Day either. I just left unhappy. Wow, yeah, so the Dune RPG, I can't remember, I feel like this uses 2D20 or some variation of Modifius's sort of home system. Yeah, 2D20. I haven't really done much with 2D20. I have Conan, and I loved the source material in Conan, but the system didn't sing to me, and I have heard there's some things in this that have really improved on that the D20 system has been kind of adapted and modified and smoothed out, I guess, as they've released multiple games for it. So I haven't looked through this. I've seen a couple of people talk about it. Dune's my favorite novel. I love science fiction. I love the wild, sort of almost bordering on science fantasy of it, the space opera, the technology so advanced it's like magic. Pardon me. Yeah. Fascinating. And I gather that this has a lot with like the noble houses, and I think, and I could be talking complete nonsense here, but I think kind of like the Song of Ice and Fire RPG, there's some level of making your character and also building your minor house, and I think you have some level of control over both, I believe, which I find an interesting thing. So it definitely makes me curious to check out. It has some really nice art. I get in trouble for my opinions on a lot of things, but certainly on film. And I am very happy that the Denis Villeneuve movie has been so successful that it has brought new fans to Dune. In many ways, it is a more palatable film version of the book than I would say either previous versions. The David Lynch movie is a beautiful mess, and the Sci-Fi Channel adaptation is a fascinating attempt. I don't want to say failure, because I don't think it's a failure, and I actually think their Children of Dune miniseries is an excellent follow-up, but it's not it's not going to be to everybody's taste. It wears its low budget on its sleeve. They made very interesting theatrical choices on some of the things they did. The acting is all over the place. Anyway. But both previous versions before Denis Villeneuve's, I think embraced a certain wild visual aesthetic, particularly the Sci-Fi Channel version. Whereas Villeneuve's version, to me, was very monotone, very gray, more sepia tone. And it just doesn't feel right for me for Dune. And I realize that, that's just one aspect. I thought there were some other things. I thought they could have trimmed probably about 20 minutes of Paul's incessant visions. I think a handful of visions would have told the story, but they just kept going back to that well with the visions. I liked it. I liked the casting a lot, but I didn't love it as much as many people. However, I'm super glad that it's brought more people into the Dune fold. I hope to see further films. I hope to see the whole story of Paul and, pardon me, how the whole Dune sort of story is, among many other things that it is, a subversion of the hero's journey, because Paul is certainly not a hero. Dune, I think, is a great, rich, wonderful setting that I would love to play and or eventually maybe run a game in. I was trying to get the Last Unicorn Dune RPG back in the late 90s, early 2000s, whenever that whole debacle happened. I had given a gentleman some money to go get it, and then he went there and he didn't get it, but he still spent my money, and it took me quite a while to get my money back from that gentleman. Anyhow, now there is a Dune RPG. It is out. It is official. It's available in stores, not just at Gen Con and not just a collector's item. It's a real thing that you can go out and buy. And now I have a copy. Thank you very much, Robert. Maybe this means that you're thinking about running it. And if that's the case, well, keep me in mind. All right. Take care, everybody.